Hello, everyone. Jorge Huertas once again with all of you. Today, I'm going to show you what is and how to define the ideal customer or customer archetype. This video is also available in Spanish. Well, when we're talking about ideal customer, we're talking about a tool of knowledge or assessment. It got the following characteristics. Defines the archetype of the person who meets the specific characteristics and challenge that your product or service seeks and can solve. That is in many probability of making the purchase because there are more matches between both parties. He's one of the figures in the marketing and sales strategy. Previously, we were talking about target objective audience, but as we get no many more data about people, we can now identify a very specific profile of our ideal client with the objective of prioritizing its identification and management. In the B2B activities, it is very important tool due to the amount of time that is invested in acquisitions, onboarding, and management in each client. Without a doubt, it is vital to ensure you are working with the ideal client. In B2C, it is also essential tool if what you want to scale in business are priorities before replacing the business model to scale, and it's vital ensure we are capturing customers' attention and interest in those ideals. Okay, so the ideal customer is extremely important, and if you want to define it, you have to have a lot of data. You have to have a user's profile, customer profile, buyer persona, and all of that before we can define those specific characteristics. Before we start, if you like what we do, if you enjoy our content, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, turn on the bell, because it really helps us a lot to keep growing and working in this project. So it's very important that we can, if we want, we could have like average of names, but also the professional activities and in which age are those customers, because it's very important that we are very precise in the information that we got. One of the things that I suggest is that this has to be a mix of a lot of information so we can define it. So if, for example, the majority of my customers, their name is Carlos, so their name, it will be Carlos. However, that could be relevant or not, depending of how am I going to use the tool. The activities are also very important because if I notice that the majority of my customers are students, so I put it in. If I say the majority of my customers are engineers, so that's important. And also if I could have, because I can say the average customer of my business are between 20 and 40 years. Yes, but I can say like, yeah, but 70% are 35. So age 35. If I could have like with a artificial intelligence create a picture of that, it will be very, very nice. And after that, we start putting in all the demographic data, which is very, very important. Where are the majority of the residents? So that's important. Also, what do they do? In which area are they working? What's their occupation? In their job, what's their specific position? It will be very helpful if I could have that information. I always say that this profile could be very helpful if I could put as many as characteristics as I have. However, I'm not gonna create anything. I'm not gonna invent anything. What I'm going to do is make an average of all the information that I have, so I can put a specific place, a specific activity, and of course the educational level. That could be meaningful because if I say like, okay, the majority of my customers are professionals. Okay, professionals in what? In economy, administration, communication, in what? So that could be meaningful because with that information, I could say like, okay, my strategy should be this or should be that, or the communication channel should be this or should be that. After that, we start working in the experience, in the motivation regarding the product or service that we are offering. One of the most important things is to understand what are the motivations of our customers. What do they like? What do they enjoy? I don't know, holidays, time with their family, time with, I don't know, which kind of activities they enjoy. Because that could be a very interesting opportunity to analyze which are the motivations, what moves them. The motivations are also very important because with that I can say, okay, this information, I need to avoid this in my strategy. I need to avoid this in all the specific data that I have. So that could be very, very important as well. What do they like in the product or service, or what they definitely don't like and do not enjoy? So I will try to avoid to put that. The needs are extremely important because nowadays we got many different products. We are in a free commerce competition, but a lot of the things that we are developing are not necessary. So I need to understand how can I put and work with something that is meaningful, that is different, that can change people's life. I always say the idea here with this archetype is to focus on the real needs of the customer, understand the best I can, so I can focus on different activities. The goals and wishes are very meaningful as well, because it's very important to understand the person. And of course, I need that information. The empathy map could be very meaningful here as well, because I could understand what are the goals, what are the wishes, what do they expect from life. And of course, the tastes and hobbies. What do you like to do and allows the product or service to develop? Because when I'm creating something, I need to understand how the user and the customer will interiorize it and understand it in a better way. So this user profile, I could be more specific. I could use which networks the people use, what are their favorite applications, how often they use it, how many hours, and all of that, because that will allow me to have more information that's very specific and is extremely interesting because it could be focused on all of that. So this is like the basic customer profile, but you can make it more specific. You can make it with more data, and that will allow you to understand what do I wish to have in my customer, like the best possible scenario with all of that. And you can also use the tool Extreme Users. If you don't know what's that, please check here in our channel because we got that tutorial here. As a conclusion, we can say upon finish, the ideal profile or client must be very clear in the characteristics that they have. Because I have a lot of data, I analyze it and I focus on those specific tools. These tools can change and evolve because people change and evolve. And that's something very important because the audience is not always the same. The customers are not always the same. People grow, people change, and that's life. You cannot pretend that people are still the same. So from time to time, I need to check how everything is going and how can I make it a better experience. This tool can change and evolve as the person, and I recommend that every 6 months try to analyze and watch if there's a big change. For example, yeah, it's very important because every time we keep evolving. Thank you so much. I hope this video was a big help in your education. Please subscribe to our channel, Design Thinking 24/7. Follow us on social media. Remember that every week we got new content. Our Udemy courses are already available. In the description of this video, you can find the link. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.